Terrible. Steel, Ken, Darthon, Warp Core, Gibbs, Mac, how's it going? Hopefully the audio's coming through fine. Yeah, sounds fine. Archmagos, how's it going? We're gonna start off here with the Pavo Daily, and I'm gonna do this the same way I've been doing it the entire time, which is going to make some of you very, very upset. I'm gonna do a private peril over Pavo. And I'm gonna do it the right way. Jeff, how's it going? CS?
Bad news. I'm reading a lot.
Jeff, yep. Thank you, thank you. Bring the beard back. Terrible. I'm playing everyone's favorite ship, the Nadarian Defender. It is such a fun ship. Ralph, how's it going? Yeah, I know. I messed the beard up. Richard?
Enemy ships approaching. On an attack vector.
Beautiful. That was the console off the Connie 3. The bioelectrical wave. It's nice. Oh, did it miss one? Oh no, there it goes. Okay. Now I get to wait until I can activate the satellites. Flying Pie to the rescue. Howdy. Italian, how's it going? Robert? Yeah. Oh. Italian, thank you for the T1 sub. Very much appreciated. Hope you're having a good day. This is pretty much just how I do my daily for this. I just do it solo with the Nadarian Defender because people complain if you go in with a Nadarian Defender into public queues. And if I lose a satellite, the queue's still going to complete, so I'll just bounce back and forth between two of them. Yep. You can indeed do this solo. Turning too slow. You even have to activate the satellites. I'm doing it so that I'm clearly not just AFKing it. I am actually playing the queue, okay? Each took a lane. It was great. Yep. I don't know. Nick, that is a good question. Reroll leveling at the moment. Yeah, the Nadarian, especially once you have it built out, let it build up some ruin stacks while you're doing it. It's gonna go great. I know, Dan. Yeah. It was the HSC jelly build, so gotcha. So slamming still. I don't have the bowel sentry. Grog has gone. So if they disable the Nadarian mode in TFOs, you can basically do the same thing with like a passive carrier build, right? So
Shield generator gamma is at 75%.
like there's enough passive ways to play the game that there's a variety of different builds you can basically do this playstyle with. Jay has a gun. Yeah, it's purely time gated, so it doesn't matter like how fast you kill the enemies. It's no matter what, you're stuck here for 5 minutes defending it for this phase, and then for the other phase. It's a time gated TFO. I personally dislike the time gated TFOs like this. I like stuff that completes, you know, at the pace you're capable of completing it. Not enough Borg for Spencer. Nice. Yeah, turrets, especially now that that fix is live, turret builds are really viable. Steven, you're not gonna grab a Kith? The Obina console is still bugged. We need to get them to fix it. What's the minimum you have to do to solo this? Just clear the first wave? Probably. Yeah, but Steven, I mean, the Kith is still gonna be like the best LR supported DPS platform for Do, right? Like, yeah, it's not perfect for what we wanted it to be, but it's still gonna be a good platform for that. Yeah, the accessories are bugged, yeah.
Shield
Does
generator
the turret
gamma
from
is
the
at
ball
45%.
console work when in jellyfish mode? Yeah, I believe so. I just don't have it on any characters to test. I should have got Disco Inferno. I think the next time they do a Muds bundle sale, I'm just gonna pick up Disco Inferno and get it over with.
They've destroyed shield generator gamma.
Well, it's got a cloak, Steven. Yeah, it should be better for LR, I would think. I mean, Michi, you've probably thought about this a bit more than I. Would you concur if Michi's here? Michi's always here. James, I don't know. I think that there's still a bit of chaos happening behind the scenes, is what it seems to be. Is what the impression I'm getting right now with just how these recent releases have been. Yeah, the Pavo ground TFO's like always been able to be just soloed AFK. I didn't want to do that one on stream, though, and promote that. The Nadarian, I'm still, you know, I'm playing the TFO. I'm gonna bounce between the two generators that are left. I don't have the Bowel Sentry. I never bought that Muds bundle. Yeah. I mean, you could. We wouldn't necessarily have to, but we could even do with all the buffs we have in that environment, just toss on like another infiltrator and get up to 22-second ambush. That'd cover pretty much the entire run.
Heads up, the enemy flagships are coming to attack.
Oh no. Whatever will I do? Fire-breathing space frisbee, yes. Oh. Novita, thank you for the 2 bits. With a decent build, you can just activate auto attack and broadside beamers and go AFK in this random TFO. No difference to the defender sitting there. Yeah, absolutely. It's just people get salty about it. I can't bounce back to the other point quite yet. Oh, damn, I didn't have one selected. Why I have 2 jump consoles on here. Missed every video about the event console. Anything noteworthy about it? No, it's really bad. Like, it performs really, really poorly. Yeah, I'm not AFKing this. I'm just bouncing between the 2 points.
Shield generator beta is at 75%.
But yeah, the event console, it's not that good. It does look like a fun little ship, but I do care. But do I care about supported LR? No, I mean, we're not doing any runs right now. The servers have been too bad.
Shield generator output is at 75%.
Yeah, I mean, the new event console is just not good. Really not much more to say about it. It performs horribly. Like, I think like a neutronium resistance console would probably just end up doing more for you. That's a pretty rough situation. Good day, space beings. How do you use the jump console without jumping? So I talked about it in some of my recent meta breakdowns, and I've got an upcoming video that's going to show the setup for it, but you basically need to have your control settings set up so you can use abilities without targeting a foe. And you then just create a keybind. Well, what I've done is I have a keybind on my mouse where I hit it and it's going to deselect a target. It's going to clear my target so nothing is selected, and then it is going to then it's going to use that console. But yeah, so look at this. I'm keeping 2 of them alive.
Yes, you did it! They're leaving!
Look, there we go. See, it's all done solo. Got my dilithium, got my daily. Beautiful. I'm pretty sure the scaling was talked about in the builds Discord the other day. No, you don't need a target to use it. There just needs to be a target like within the range in front of you or on your screen. Yeah, I don't. It was in the one of the recent meta breakdowns. It might have been January. Might have been the January one where I talked about it again. I need to make sure Discord is not on my screen. I have not seen that. Yeah, the scaling was talked about in the builds Discord, and it's like no matter what, it's just not good. Okay, so build wise, I've always jumped around like that. I'm sorry. What is happening? Secret community manager. Not too much right now. I guess the Pioneer 2 is a ship I haven't done too much yet with, but let's do a TFO quick with the Shangri-La before I hop over to the Pioneer 2. So for the Shangri-La, what I've done with it. Oh, by the way, the lobby sale is still active for another 2 hours. So what I've done with the Shangri-La is it's got no lockbox console. Yeah, no lockbox consoles or starship traits like off of ships. It does still have lockbox personal space traits because I mean, even at a budget level, you should be able to grind those out over time at like 50 to 60 mil a pop. Yeah, it's a bit of a grind, but it is doable. Um, so it's just avoiding all the really expensive lockbox stuff. The DOFs, I don't have the lower quality versions of the stuff I have, but like there really isn't too much difference between a blue quartermaster, blue EWOs, versus the very rare versions. So you can get those at a fraction of the price and basically get the same thing. Bill, how's it going? So this is more of a this is very much more of a fun build. I would say like it's themed here. You can see a bunch of pulse phasers on it. Where did Oscar go? There it is. Is there a vid out there that shows how to work relocate mine? The old Torp guide from a couple years ago might go over it because that was like during the peak time where we used relocate mines to get a big damage spike at the start of infected. We would spam mines during prep phase and then use that to bring all the mines together on the foe. Ethan, how's it going? The guard? Oh no. Yeah, the thing is too with the kith is to get the trait to work, you have to cloak and decloak. And that's just the issue with actually doing that in actual gameplay is you can get stuck in the cloak. Like if the server is messing up at all, you can get desynced and you can get stuck in that cloak and then you're just screwed. That's not a fun situation. With the exchange being at 8.7 mil in the backlog, how much time is that in days? What's it been going at recently? Has it been like I haven't looked at recent numbers. Is it still like mid twos, 200 like K processed a day? Or has it been doing a bit better up around 300? Back to around 30 days? There's the answer. Thank you, Crost. Yeah, so up closer to 300K worth of Zen in the backlog being processed today. That's an improvement. We're seeing more engagement in the game right now. Ridger, how's it going? Yeah, basically spam all the mines for time and teleport the whole formation into the middle of the enemy, exactly. Yeah, and use resonating payload modifications. I think I talked about that in the Torp vid, but it's bugged with mines and I don't think it was ever fixed. You basically get to stack that up like crazy. And I know someone was asking me to run Riva Tuner recently to see the FPS numbers better. I completely forgot about getting that all set up, so I'll get that for the next stream. What is a must-have lobby ship? I mean, that depends on your playstyle. And thank you for the 70 bits. Very much appreciated. You got stuck in cloak so much when doing the KDF recruit cloaking stuff. You want to do an ISC? Okay, ISC with this theme build. I was just going to do advanced because this is what this is set up for, but Gibbs says infected elite. Let's do infected elite. Let's suffer. What are my PC specs? I have a Ryzen 7950X, and then for the GPU, it is a 7900 XTX. If my plan was, if the 9070 XTs had been in stock, because of the price hike on like even used 7900 XTXs, I was gonna try to sell my GPU and like just profit like 400 to 500 and move over to the 9070, but stock has not been good enough for that, and prices have started to come on down. Holy Shangri-La in this queue? Yes, lots of Shangri-La. All the Shangri-La. I am hitting my abilities late. I don't have most of my buffs active here. Do I have a prototype? Yes, I do. This is also a non-uncon setup because people have been complaining about uncon a ton recently.
Scanning the nanite transformer. Gun. Additional data available.
Oh, I don't have Agony Redistributor on. That's a shame. Might have been free damage.
The nanite drones to repair the transformers. Stop them.
Yeah, my damage here is not going to be stellar. But thankfully we got some other DPS in here to make this fast.
Destroy it.
There you go. There's theme build with the Shangri-La. What is my choice for the daily patrol mission to get that 1K dill? I don't usually do a daily patrol, to be honest.
Conduit has been destroyed. However, our scans of the star
Yeah, this is a no lockbox build other than the personal traits, because you can't really get around that. So there's no lockbox starship traits. There's no lockbox like ship obtained consoles here. Yeah. It is also, yeah, no uncon. I think I have no uncon on the build. Just because there's like a group of players that are pretty much like frothing at the mouth, you know, just with rage every time you even mention the word uncon. So and there's just some people that legitimately just don't like that playstyle. Broke a mill in a TFO with a gimped themed spend spot. Oh no. Steercow's gone. Only 600k, I know. Well, that's the thing is when you're doing like theme builds, when you're doing stuff like that, you're taking a performance penalty. Like if I put the Pavin Omni on, you know, how much am I going to get from that? Yeah. But yeah, look at that. Pulse phasers. Broadside beam support did good. Fire at will 1 right there from ETM. I apparently got some overload 1 in at some point from the Wani console. Yeah, I mean it was still good. Could have certainly been better, but that is, you know, that is about 700k there with the themed pulse phaser build. Yeah. On the ship that everyone's gonna fly for 2 weeks and then forget about. Okay, so while the Lobby event is up, I want to buy some Lobby stuff. Um As some of you know, I have been working on my Fed character quite a bit again recently. So I want to go over to my Fed character and just to make sure I have all of the lobby items I want. Yes, that sounds like a very fun bug. Any idea when temporal recruit may pop up? Wasn't that pretty late into the year last year? Multi-barrel phaser pistol special issue has entered the chat. Oh no. Yeah, but I think the Stowwiki would have the dates for the recruitment event, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty late into the year last year. Because next up would be Delta, right? Should we be scared? You're about to see a lot of Lobby get spent during the final 2 hours of this sale. If like look at the lag there, the rubber banding. It's now like June-ish. The precious Lobby, I know. The precious Lobby. Whatever will I do? Okay, I don't remember what Lobby gear this character has. So just bear with me here. I would imagine it's got stuff like bioneural, tachyo, yeah, bioneural, tachyokinetic. It's got the Delphic Torp. What other Lobby weapons does this have? It's got the full temporal set, the Delphic. Does have rapid fire. I'm gonna buy a bunch of things for this character. I just want to make sure I am buying things that I don't have on this character right now. So where did Stipping Tool go? Right behind my prompter. Well, the Watcher Bridge officers are still best in slot. Why are you trying to sell some? That's a very interesting question there. I reckon you've got Watchers to sell. You want me to tell people how they're the best bridge officers you can get in the game? Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Referring to your character as an it terrible, where's your backstory paragraph for there is a I forget who exactly sent me this one. Was it Chuck? I don't remember. Yeah, this character, someone sent me this a while back. I think it might have been Chuck or it might have been Chiaps. I don't remember who. Supreme Armada fleet leader of the Breakfast Club and all underlying fleets. The first of his name, master of market manipulation, destroyer of DPS records, scourge and terror to all our peers, filthy casuals and PvPers, lord of the lockbox and master shipbuilder, conqueror of the nebulas, the supreme fleet leader. That is something someone sent to me to put there. Hey, I did take my character to the tailor and put it in a an actual uniform. I also just copied like the visuals from Casual best I could. Yeah, well, I just did I loaded Casual onto this character. Okay. Um, unstable planetoid detonation isn't good. I don't really need to worry about it. So, Rule 62, I can see that in my inventory, which I have off to a different screen here, so I don't need that. Tachyon mine launcher.
This is your lucky spin.
I feel like I would have that. Yes, I do. Okay. So I have that entire set. I have the temporal disruption stuff. Did I have the Elachi stuff here? I don't see it. Okay. I'm not buying this stuff for any particular reason other than to just say I have the entire Lobby Store's like space stuff on this character. I'm going to toss all this stuff in the bank afterwards. I'm just buying it while it's on sale. And in the event that I want to do anything with it. Do I have Bounty Hunter's Friend? Nope. I've got that turret. Do I have interface here? I did not see that. Yeah, so there's no particular reason why I'm buying all this stuff other than I just want to have it all on this character just in case. I have the ultimate set here.
Oh, what's the harm in a little friendly wager?
Don't forget the onesie. Terrible. That is compensating for something. Terrible. Did I have ultimate? No, I'm not seeing it. Okay, I have the console. Do I have the bubble stuff on this character? I have the Omni. Do I have the torpedo? I don't see the torpedo. Do I have the console? Yes, I do. Reinforced. I don't think I have. No. Do I have the spatial torpedo? Do I have those wide arc cannons? Nope. There we go. Glad you got shield tunneling when you did. Back up over 100 mil now. Well, the Breen lockbox is gone, so. Or the partners in crime. I would say to go the Uncon route because that's ultimately going to be cheaper. These Lobby consoles, the issue is with Lobby is that most of this stuff sucks nowadays. Like I'm buying this probably because I'm just gonna use some of it for an upcoming video, but like this Lobby stuff is just really underpowered in the current state of the game. Like a lot of this has been devalued. They honestly really would benefit from just doing a nice balance pass to all the Lobby sets, all the Lobby gear. Especially with that being, something that is meant to incentivize us to open boxes. It would benefit them to go in and buff up a lot of these older Lobby sets. But yeah, it would just be cheaper for you to do Uncon. Because a lot of the really good consoles that you spam with Uncon are C-Store. Pretoria, how's it going? It's too bad ROM drone ships are locked ROM ships. I'd like to put them on the Arc Row and Friendship. That'd be crazy. Were you tanking in that ISE run? I mean, I had survivability stuff on. What was my damage in? I mean, I wasn't like I had threatening stance on, but it's not a tank build. 47%. And heals, I mean, a Valdor console. Was it you, Chuck? It looks like your wording. Yeah, it looks like your style of writing there. I got a little scroll up here. Okay. They could also update the T6 ships, but hey, yeah. Andy, how's it going? Yeah, the Uncon route, as expensive as Uncon is, like, it's cheaper than the Lobby stuff. Because this Lobby stuff, when you look at the cost of Lobby, every 200 Lobby item is like 35 bucks worth of keys. Like, that is extremely expensive per item. You've got the event campaign, which is giving you Lobby now, which makes that stuff a little bit easier, but still, it is quite rough. A Breen rifle staff is nice. Well, if you combine it with Scent of Blood, that is. Go back to the other character now. Only use Lobby on BOP items, but like the disco rifle. Yeah. Yeah, the Lobby store just in general needs an update, but I think right now, like, just given how the past couple of months have been, I have a feeling that they're still a bit overwhelmed with everything going on with the game. I don't know. I feel like that would be a good thing for them to work on, but I feel like right now they're scrambling constantly. It feels like to just work on the next thing and not necessarily having the time to go back in and fix the things they just released. Like you look at some of the recent like ship accessories. We've got the 15th ones. I imagine they're going to actually resolve, but like the Obina console still hasn't been fixed. Every time it gets to 10 stacks, it turns off the toggles on your ship. Dan, thank you for the 70 bits. Very much appreciated. SAD or inertial supremacy on the arc rail? I would do SAD personally. Just to make sure your pets have more follow-up time. Can they supercharge the game engine some more? Yeah. If you're buying unbound stuff with your Lobby, if you're just getting your Lobby from the event campaign, it really is a bit of a waste. You should be using that Lobby on stuff that's going to bind to you on pickup. Yeah, they are absolutely overwhelmed. Yeah. It's like I think we just got to be patient with them, but definitely we are still seeing we're in a little bit of a rougher patch with the transition. Dark Ghost, how's it going? Okay. So new build, a Kith Plasma CSV. No, I'm kidding. There was a request yesterday to do a beam overload, or not beam overload, a dual beam bank setup on the Pioneer 2. So realistically, dual beam bank is going to be set up pretty much the same as like a beam array setup when it comes to how you're building the ship out. The difference is how you fly it. Dark Ghost, how's it going? I already said that. Do a forward-facing Tetrion beam overload build you countered? Oh no. In the TOS skin? I mean, I can make sure it's in the TOS skin. Look, it's me, Jakar, next to you in game. Oh, sorry, I just read your message. Yeah, there you go. You want the Pioneer skin right there? Let's do it. See. Very nice. Sora, how's it going? Afternoon at Nuclear Family. Oh no. Cheops is here. There's not much difference between the damage types. Tetrion, Plasma, AP, Phaser, Disruptor, they can all do fine. You can even do a Rainbow build and do perfectly fine nowadays. Any updates on Rise of 2025? I mean, that is still, that's still like 3.5 months out. 3.5 months, somewhere right around there. Yeah. Reroute reserves to... Oh, no. Okay, what Phaser Omni do I have here? Oh. So this is going to be a mix of colors. Just because I don't have all of the Phaser Omnis. The thing is, an EPG build on the Arc is the exact same thing as what I'm running, just at a lower performance level, basically. Basically, you're doing the full-on con setup like I'm doing right now. You're just swapping out the universal consoles, and you're swapping your weapons to weapons that are for set bonuses. And then you're swapping complex out. So you're basically you're trading off damage to say, "Oh, look, I'm doing EPG." People do the story arc missions. This game has a story. Oh no. Um, all the the phaser frequencies. Yep. How far behind Bits Leader 1 are you? I don't know. It doesn't actually. Where do I see that? That is a good question. Is it? Does the bot not track that? I mean, Dan, you are the number one. You're at 5720 and the next person's at 500. You're at the top. This is what it says to me. If you scroll down, wow, I need to update. I need to update my Twitch thing down there, but I still have an O game ad down there. I don't even play O game anymore. Yeah, let's get this dual beam bank set up. Where is my wide arc phaser? There it is. Let's go over here. I guess I can at least make it all like sensor linked. I mean, it's not the visuals people want, but at least it'll be consistent. For the torpedo, I'm gonna do, given I have that wide angle dual beam bank on, I'm gonna do the dark matter. Then I can get the two-piece. Progress? No, I'm not saying that. EPG is still perfectly viable. Do the Romulan officers in the embassy store rotate? I'm looking for an Ninja SRO and I can't seem to find one. I'll have subterfuge. No, they're further down on the list. Dan, thank you for the 70 bits. I'm realizing my camera is blocking the bits thing there. Can I move that? Which one is that? Twitch. Oh. All good so far. Yeah, like I've got this set up with, okay, this is like an uncon friendly setup looks like. So I'm already set up to spam uncon on this setup. I just don't have batteries. I was probably in a rush to get out of this ship when I was testing it day one. Yeah, I don't even have brace for impact on the tray. Jeez. I can tell I was a big fan of this ship. I mean, yeah, Steven, that's pretty much how it's always been. And Dan, if I didn't say thank you, thank you again for that. Um, but people have always hated what was viewed as the best. You know, I remember back in the day, people hating on Ox to Bat because it made all the builds too similar. Um, yeah, stuff like that. Like, people have always complained. Um, Last decade in the Star Trek void, the story content was pretty solid. Great to have original actors back. It's what I joined still for. It's just sadly the story mechanics have aged very badly. How's Boimler as a boff if you're using a science 2 type build for the trait? Or are you talking the DOF? Like there's a Boimler DOF and a trait, right? The trait I still run, like on every build. The DOF, I don't recall the last time I actually used it. I don't think it was adding that much damage though. Um Snatch 7 Disruptor Mark 12 Isomags at 3 mil each. Nice. Running your Protostar at the moment. To understand the torpedo is to become the torpedo. Worf? Oh no. Spencer claims he stopped playing O game because it was too pay to win, but I think it was really because Spencer was too poor to win. Whoa. No, I mean the exact reason I quit is because I mean that was a contributing factor, but I attacked someone and took out their fleet, and they happened to have been a former volunteer game moderator, and or like something along that sort, where they were formerly on the volunteer staff for the game, and their buddies backed them up, and they banned me for like a week or two, and they gave the guy his fleet back. And it's like the strategy we used against him was what he had been doing to us for like months ahead of that, and we did it straight back to him. We reported him every time he did it. They didn't punish him. We did it back to him. First attempt of doing it, they ban and punish us. It was just like at that point, like when you're dealing with like a game that is that pay to win, and then the moderators for it, which are all volunteer because the company itself is too cheap to have their own staff for it. Um, like it's time to move on. Corruption at its finest, absolutely. Uh, the Nexus parser, that parser generally does not get a lot of love from anyone that does DPS chasing. You're better off using something like Oscar, CLA, something like that. The Nexus parser, there were some issues with it back in the day. Spencer knows all about corruption. Oh no. On my Connie theme build, I'm using the retrofit phaser banks and prolonged torp. I also have Libby giveaway trade or outfit of your choice. Could you post it on both CasualSAB and Bill's Discord? Yeah. Let me get those started. And a reminder that there is giveaways live right now on both of those Discords. So let's get those started up. Sora, how long do you want them to run for? Love to see a Science Arc Royal build I have. I don't have a Science build for it. It's all due right now. Even on my Science Captain, it's an energy weapon setup. So you said Lobby trait or outfit of your choice. Yeah. So just do that, Sora. The Lobby trait or outfit of your choice. Thank you for that. Can you guys enter that? Does it let you enter it? Because it just bugged out when I did it. Okay, there's people entering now. And then on the builds Discord, let's do the same thing. This is why I have not been doing it, like, or why I stopped doing the paid plan for this, is because it was just always bugging out like this. Yeah, it's yeah, it's messing up. Oh. Yeah, the bot is bugging out heavily right now. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that started up a little bit later. And you guys said the one in the CasualSAB one's working. It's the builds one that just does not want to go. There it goes. Okay, finally went on the builds Discord. It is up in the giveaways channel there. What is this? Hold on. Yikes. I'm just looking at one of our like moderation channels in the builds Discord. Chiapstilla, if either you're listening, if that dude acts up, don't, and you have to ban him from builds, just make sure to hit him from the CasualSAB Discord as well. That dude seems like a bit of a dick. How many outfits are locked behind lockboxes? And Stevo, thank you for the Prime sub. Sorry if I'm a little bit delayed on that. I was trying to spam the giveaway there. Let me see. I use all the Inge for speed bus. I saw that already. It's enjoyable to watch enemies get sucked in and instantly die. I've got an EPG build on the arc rail that's been doing pretty well in solo ISC, 1.5 millish. Yeah, if the giveaway stuff is messing up for you now, just give it a couple of minutes. The interaction failed. Just give it a little bit of time. Can I give you a link to Oscar? Yes, I can. As soon as this page loads for me. Yep, so the most recent release is from 2 weeks ago. There's the link to download Oscar if you don't already have it. How many outfits are locked behind lockboxes? Most of the outfits are in the lobby store, so they are sellable or tradable. So I don't think there's none that I can think of that are actually in lockboxes directly. Yeah, indeed. Some of the visuals are really great. Okay, let's get back to actually playing the game a little bit. I need to put Brace for Impact on the tray here and my rep clickies. So let me get that done here. Do weapon systems, make sure I'm hitting that. Brace for Impact, I forgot to put on already. I honestly, like, you know, you get your crit chance and severity wherever you can, but I don't even really focus on the looking at the numbers too much nowadays. I know a lot of people do still like to look at the numbers, but I just slap on all the isomags and just let the numbers be. I mean, especially once you have your endeavors done, you don't have to worry about it as much because the endeavor system is giving you, you know, 12.5% crit chance, 50% severity. Like you've got the leeway there to just shift your focus a little bit. Okay, let's take this into, there was a wanted patrol mentioned before. Let's give that a go. When the numbers are always so high, it's easy to ignore them. Yeah, pretty much. A Discord ping. I just like to save my buffs for the second phase here.
You haven't. Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding. Keep concentrating fire on individual ships. Separate them. Whittle down their numbers. We will not go quietly. You will stand down. Surrender to the defensive guard. Sensors are picking up small habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with mold holes and temporary hideouts. We do what we want, where we want.
I have the right buffs on this build.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance. I'm taking you with me. That's got it. Excellent work. We'll send over a pacification party, take the suspect into custody.
Yeah, I don't have a battery quartermaster on. I was like, my Oxbat isn't ready for...
Assistance, and welcome to this sector.
Wasn't ready there, so let's drop the 24 for that. But can it PvP? I don't care about PvP in this game anymore. Just not the part of the game I like to play. Flying too casually, be more elite. Wow. I mean, I can slap on some of the better traits here. So I have UD on. I do have Ruin on. Okay, Terran's on. Okay, I already got like the big traits. I've got 2 EPTX, so I can do ship of the line. That's fine. And did I have Uncommon? Yes, I did. Superior cannon training isn't really needed. I can do Symbiotic Ice instead there. I don't have Breen Shield Tunneling on either, it looks like. Or Intelligence Agent Attaché. That is going to be more important than Symbiotic Ice and some of the other traits I have on. No Fireball Escape? What? Terrible. What am I doing? Just thinking of what I want to give up here. I'll give up Fragment. I have a bunch of Ice Mags on. I mean, SAD's still worth it for the debuff. Fireball Escape makes you immune to all Warp Core breaches. I mean, this ship can do a really uncon-friendly setup, so it's got a bunch of uncons on. I should just run a bunch of unique consoles instead of the clickies. I'd get more out of it. Guillotine Elite is a fun TFO. It was fun to do a couple times, and then I got tired of it. Let's make this more, as Reddit would like to say, you know, more meta by putting more clicky consoles on. That's what everyone wants right now, right? Be a meta player. Oh no. So for my new characters, their base crit H crit DS should aim for. Or oh, okay, I already answered that. Twitch chat's moving a bit slower than the YouTube. Put a hanger bay on it. Oh no, Mark the Chief. I never said I expected them to add a hanger bay to that ship. It's just that I wanted them to. I want a hanger bay on the Kith. It would greatly help my immersion. Okay, I do have Valdor on. Domino can be dropped here once I figure out what else I want to put back on. Achilles would work fine. I don't have that broadside console on, so where is that? The Garrett console, if that thing was affected by Uncon and Voven, I'd be running it, but with it not, I just have not been running it. Sorry, I'm just trying to find things by looking at the icons here. Sequential off the Shangri-La has been performing well. Is unconventional systems worth it for just fleet power? I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, you can basically have 100% uptime on that console if you do it right. Okay, I have a Crenum Chronophage that is already bound to me, so there that is. Then I have one console that I'm missing here that I'm just drawing a blank on, and I'm going to feel like an idiot when I find it here in a moment. Oh, the Guardian console. There we go. Just know that by me putting meta in the name of that loadout, there's someone very upset right now. It really is wild just how mad people were getting about Uncon. Like, you don't have to do it. It just happens to be the most effective way to play right now. But no one's sitting here forcing you to actually run it. You can do whatever you want. The reason we, you know, recommend meta stuff like in the DPS scene is because it's going to make your time easier in the game. Am I sure I don't want to slot the new event one? Terrible. I forget, will the Terran Torpedoes console in the... Nope, it's... You may as well only run the Eagle one. To just aim at conventional systems at this point, yeah. People get mad over... People just always want to be mad, and being mad at the latest meta thing is the easiest way for them. Yeah. Well, the thing is, a lot of the consoles are actually, you know, Zen obtained. So look at all the consoles I have here. Okay? In the uni slots, custom power matrix, that's from the recent winter event. Agony redistributor, that's off the Terran Adamant, a C-store ship. Crinum Chronophage, that's a lockbox console that's like 10 mil on the exchange, last I saw. The sequential warhead loader off the Shangri-La. Broadside combat off of the Kerala. Micro quantum torpedoes off the Achilles. You know, those are 3 C-store ships. You know, there's another event console here, Subspace Fracture. Then there's C-store Fleet Power, C-store Adaptive Immersion Systems, C-store Particle Conversion Matrix, the Lithium, the Valdor console, and then lockbox-wise, the only 2 lockbox consoles are DPRM and the Credence. And, you know, if you don't have those, there's still other clicky consoles you can run. Just to play devil's advocate, judging things based exclusively on its uncon evoven potential doesn't really seem fair. I mean, it's that has come back to bite me in the past, where I'll say, yeah, in the current meta, this thing's not great, and then like a year later, it ends up being really good. Look at the Friendship. I was not very positive about that at first. The main benefit of Chronophage is that it's a shield offline. It's a shield offline on the target for 20 seconds. Okay, so let's do another infected, the Conduit Elite public queue. I'm gonna go in here with the Pioneer with the fire at will setup. We'll see how it goes. And this is also running, you know, the more meta uncon console spamming sort of setup. Is the Credence console only worth running on a ship with OSS? No, it's the Credence console is really desirable if you're on a ship with 2 hangar bays, because it is a huge pet buff, but it's also adding a bit to your weapons for that 20 seconds. It's infected Space Elite. Infected the Conduit Elite public queue. It's the only TFO in the game I know how to play. It's the Borg TFO. Plus 50 armor pen, isn't that just plus 5? Like, isn't that the skill? So that is going to be... That's the wrong thing. Yeah, plus 5. But that'd be like actually plus 5 actual pen. I don't remember if it's actually the skill or if it's actually giving you that. I would imagine it's the skill. So plus 5. People want long, drawn-out ship versus ship fights like in TNG Voyager, forgetting that half of DS9 was ships one shooting each other if you didn't have a named character on board. Oh, they put the 20 keyring in, but no sail. Yeah, I did think it was a bit weird that they added a new lockbox ship in, but no key sail. That was certainly a bit of an odd one there. I don't recall the last time we had a new ship added in and no key sail alongside it.
The situation is grim. All attempts to...
Here we go. Got this. Probably forgot to push the sail button. I mean, they put the Lobi sail up on Tuesday, so that was surprising.
Scanning the nanite transfer. Got it. Additional data is available.
Someone else got off before me. Oh, I'm on a, I forgot I'm on a dual beam bank setup this time. I thought I was still on a raise. Oh no. How do you breed tribbles? There's like an entire guide for that on the wiki.
Sensors confirm that the transwarp
Yeah, so my piloting at first, I forgot that I was on a dual beam bank setup now. I noticed, okay. Yeah. Spending your money wisely can go a long way in this game. Yeah, Red, it is really rough. That's something Deca has to change. They cannot leave the current delay between events and their items being put into Muds or Phoenix. As soon as the buyouts for those items disappear, there needs to be like a month or two window at most before it gets added to one of those other stores. Because right now, you know, we may not see the Vovin console enter Muds or Phoenix until next year. Like, imagine that. We're you know, not even a quarter of the way through this year yet, and anyone that's missed that, the buyout's not there, but it could be another year before anyone has the opportunity to get the Vovin and that console again. So the Agony Redistributor, if someone else has already marked it on a target, you can't hit it. If you both hit it at the exact same time, it can bug out and give one of you like a really huge spike, but that is not intended. Yeah, but if someone else uses it, it'll lock the others out. That's why it's like a race to the first cube, because that's a huge spike. Whoever hits it on the first cube is gonna get a huge boost. Okay, so that run, full broadside, the console did 158k. My fire at will did horrible, but I don't have as much, you know, stuff on there buffing it. Agony on the left transformer still did 105k. Resonance Shock did good. The Achilles console. I mean, overall, still did fine. Not perfect, but well, they leave the event campaign buyouts up until like February of the next year. So that's why even the early events from last year were still accessible for the Pavo Omni, for instance. But the summer and winter ones, those buyouts are only available for 6 months, and they're 1,000 lobies. So that even with that buyout, it's not the most accessible. You know, if you're trying to open lockboxes to get 1,000 lobi, that's going to be expensive. That's like $200 worth of lobi right there. Yeah. Ultimately, we're at a point with ISE runs where if you have a high performance uncon setup, you're pretty much going to be best to, and you don't have a supported team to play with, your best bet is to do solo runs, because there's too many variables, too many ways that a random team can screw you over. It just, yeah, it's just something that isn't the funnest right now. The random environment sucks if you're DPS chasing. How to do 10 million DPS? 10 million would be failure on territory. So you get a team of players that all have really expensive builds and are actually at a skill level where they can pull off a failure on run. How did folks do 30k ground? I mean, isn't the ground record a bit higher than that? Bug Hunt, let's see. So Bug Hunt's current record is 57k. Minor instabilities 16. Jupiter 53. Op Wolf 24, almost 25. Look at that. NTTE 223k. Jason, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's been having a fun time. Got an appointment scheduled with her attorney to get all that stuff sorted out that I was talking about recently. So thank you again to everyone who chipped in there as well. I think that meeting is the first appointment that the guy had was like April 9th or 10th or something. NB, just spam a lot of content. How would a triple specialization ship improve performance in the current meta? I assume the potential gains aren't too big, are they? It wouldn't. It would depend on what that other specialization is. Like there's two ways that they can expand, you know, the power creep of ships with while remaining in tier 6. You know, they can add a third specialization seat, or they could do dual commander. So dual commander with two different specializations on each of the commanders. But as for how the third specialization would impact things, most of the specializations, if it was a lieutenant commander ranked spec seat, it could be interesting because you could then do like a concentrate firepower 3 and then have your full uncon, you know, temp intel configuration. Trying to think what else would we do here. That the issue is so many of the specializations, like you already temp intel, you already know those are like the two best specializations right now. Command is also good in some situations. I mean, a commander command with lieutenant commander temp and intel on it would actually be pretty good. Like, imagine a mirror angle that has a commander command as well. That would be good, and especially for like a carrier playstyle, because you'd have command for the inspiration abilities, and for needs of the many if you're doing the friendship trait to apply that to all your pets. Yeah, I mean, it would be, depending on how they did it, it could be a lot of power creep. What is the Torp one would use for TOS era theme build for your Connie? I don't, aren't the Torps there just like red? So probably just do a prolonged from Phoenix. I don't think they're going to increase the difficulty of content, because while those of us that are a bit more engaged with the game are looking at these external resources are at a higher performance level, the average person playing this game that doesn't look at any YouTube stuff, any Reddit stuff, any, they don't look at anything out for the game outside of the game, that they're still at a really low performance level. Borticus talked about this just recently on one of Kale's streams, where he said, the performance ceiling of the player base has, just went up to insane levels, but the actual performance floor hasn't really changed. And we always knew, that with even tier 6 ships, your average player is still only doing like, sub 20k. So given that just massive level of skill difference, it's hard for them to introduce new challenging content because the performance floor is just so low. Give us a hanger on T6X3, I wish. You still get posts each week of people wondering how to defeat the Vaadwaur? It's a combo of people, newer people entering the game, people that only play whenever there's a new addition to the game, and then there's also just the part of the player base that just never has any interest in looking at external things. Hi, Snide, how's it going? Permanent feedback pulls 5 on everything, then we just go back to Torps. As soon as they, spam feedback at us, we just go back to Torps and we nuke things. Or we go to EPG, which doesn't feedback. Yeah, this is a dual beam bank setup on the Pioneer 2 pilot heavy frigate. Let's take it into another TFO. I know how to do cure. Yeah, let's do a cure. Cure found delete, public queue. I mean, T6X3, I think, is just a matter of time because they want more money, and that's an easy way to get more money. That I know that there's some concerns about, that increasing ship cost even more. But I mean, just feels like what's eventually going to happen. I see servers are doing great today. Oh, I didn't realize we left some stuff on the side there. Oh, can't hail the king yet because there's still stuff here. You can see the, it's probably a bit hard to see because this is downscaled to 1080p, but, there was like some really bad spikes on the net graph at the bottom right. There we go. Do you see how's it going? Six upgrades per ship is a game killer for you. I mean, it does. I mean, if you think about what that is going to look like to someone that doesn't know they can get the upgrades from Phoenix as well, that's going to look crazy because you'd assume X3 would take another 3 upgrades. So that would be, 6 upgrades per ship. And for someone that doesn't know they can get those from Phoenix for like $1.50 per, they're going to look at, where's the, yeah, the pack that is in the store. So that's going to look like it's costing $40 to fully upgrade a ship. But in reality, it'd be closer to 9 with the Phoenix route. But yeah, that would be a huge cost. Today's Peril over Pabo, the players had trouble defeating the NPCs in the first round. Oh boy. I mean, I could stream right now on 4K on YouTube at 4K. The issue is Twitch has a bandwidth limit of around 6 megabytes, and on YouTube, I can blast, I could blast right now 4K 100 megasecond over to YouTube, but there's going to be a delay. So that I was playing around with it. That's the trade-off. I'm running 20 meg 1080p 60 FPS over to YouTube right now. I can ramp that up to 4K, up the bitrate if I want, but then that also isn't going to increase the latency. So there's going to be a longer delay between things I say and you guys actually hearing it. For the Shangri-La, it's on the wiki. Yeah, the Constitution class skin and the beta, those are all unlocked by either owning the Constitution Temporal Light Cruiser or promo ship or the legendary from the 10th bundle. Yeah, so it's either 10th bundle or the promo Connie, which is also available via a mods bundle. Is 25% the best discount on the ships by themselves? Yeah, typically. What about 8 to 16K streaming? I'm not sure if I mean YouTube probably supports it, but I'm not sure about that's not really a feasible resolution to stream at. I think it'll be interesting to see 8K monitors, come out in the next decade. I think I saw something BenQ was recently saying that 8K monitors are still realistically like 8 to 10 years out from mainstream adoption. But the nice thing with 8K is you could go down to, what was it, 1440p or 4K, and it would still it'd look really clean. But yeah, I mean, realistically, most content is being done at either 1080p or 4K nowadays, so 8K, I don't see 8K being adopted, especially with the bitrate. No, no, Mark the Chief. Yeah, John, the that coupon or the not the coupon, the discount will happen again for sure, like at a minimum Black Friday. Here's only 1080. I mean, there's nothing wrong with 1080p. It's easy to run. Like, 1440 that's a nice middle ground. 4K, you know, it looks nice, but the requirements to run stuff at 4K, it's ridiculous. That's why everyone, like with the Nvidia cards, or you know, to some extent the AMD cards, that you're quite often seeing using like FSR or DLSS to have their game actually still render at 1080p or lower, just so it is still somewhat playable. But even with that, it can still be rough. So can wait to see if the nerf, yeah, that'd be my recommendation for the 15th bundle, because I mean the big thing is the Corolla, you know, the Corolla and the Arc Rail. The Arc Rail for the platform, the Corolla for the accessories. Everything else in the bundle is just, I mean, it's really more for the fun immersion aspect. Like there's not really a performance reason to buy a Pioneer 2. DLSS, I'm not as worried about, especially like the new model they have in FSR4. I'm not worried about the upscaling aspect. It's more the frame gen. Like frame gen can just really start to look funky. I mean, I could do frame gen here on right on so let's do lossless scaling. Like I can do frame gen right on Stow, but you can see it really looks funky. Dan, thank you for the 70 bits. Any sign of an anniversary bundle or a bundle sale on PC? Nothing yet. The Shangri-La is, yeah, the Shangri-La is fine for Torps. There's people that have been having a really great time with it. I just don't personally enjoy running Torp builds anymore. I ran Torps for a couple years. It's just not really my thing anymore. Okay, so I can do frame gen right here. Where is it? Multiplier. So yeah, like if I do 2 times frame gen, it doesn't look too bad in Stow. But if I was to do, I don't know how this will translate to you guys, but let me find it here. If I unscale it and I take it up to like 20 times frame gen, it starts to look funky. The issue with frame gen, and I saw this even with just like 2x frame gen over in, I don't know how much that's coming through for you guys when I do that. Okay, it's not coming through at all for you guys. It's only on my screen. Okay. But with the frame gen, you start to see a lot of blurriness around the sides. Yeah, it was only coming through on my screen. I forgot. Really wish they would have given us the Picard Season 3 skin for the Pioneer instead of the Exeter one. I mean, even if you are playing at that resolution, like, yeah, that's where you're going to start to have an issue. And I think every GPU out there is still, even with Stow, is going to, you know, have some issues doing this at 8K. Like, I can turn 8K on right now by doing render scale 2. And just sitting here, my FPS is 37.6, 44, 45. Like this is the game rendering at 8K right now because I'm at base 4K. Like as soon as I go into combat, that's gonna be just a mess. Why is Intel seating best with Uncon? It's more of Intel seating is just if you are doing a meta or even close to meta build right now, you want OSS on there because override subsystem safeties is allowing you to boost your aux power over the cap and get more from fleet power network array. So OSS is just a hugely important ability in the current meta. And then you have Ionic or EMP. Those are both good uncons. Viral Impulse Burst. If that wasn't a 1-second activation time, that would be good. But 1-second activation time is rough. So it's mostly just, you know, from Intel having some good uncons and OSS. OSS is just so important. So important. Yeah, Miracle Worker desperately needs a revamp. The abilities in there have too long of a cooldown. And really the only value Miracle Worker really has is just the extra console. These other abilities just such a long cooldown. 45-second base there, that's just a bit rough. I heard do a Hive Elite. What would I say is second best for someone getting into meta builds? The Arc Rail. The Arc Rail is going to be the ship I'm doing a meta build on next. I think I showed this the other day. Please tell me that's on the main monitor. Good. So the next meta build video is not going to be on the Mirror Angle. It's going to be on the Arc Rail. I have not started that recording at all yet because that is going to be a PowerPoint video, and I have just not had the bandwidth to do PowerPoint videos this past week. Okay, here we go. We got another Borg TFO. Just what everyone wanted to see. It's certainly what I want to see.
Did you think you had destroyed me? Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim
Up feedback. Run! Or to get nuked off. I got nuked off. Okay, good. Are dual beam banks even worth running over just beam rates? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, realistically, a dual beam bank setup is going to have a higher DPS potential, but it's you know, it's like CSV. You got to be pointing towards the target. Okay, so full broadside. That console did really well again. Phase dual beam banks are here. Not really, surprisingly. Red. Like the consoles we have are so potent that it ends up being that people just run another, quite frequently just run another damage dealing console. The broadside trait though, that's going to be an issue because the broadside traits for broadside, so the dual beam banks aren't really going to do much for that. Michael, how's it going? I had a request to do, you know, some Pioneer 2 stuff, and here's Pioneer 2 with dual beam banks, and fire at will. I mean, if they nerf the broadside console, then the Arc Rail's the only, like, meta-relevant thing from the bundle. Oh yeah, the Vengeance trait sucks. Yeah, the Vengeance trait, it's really not good. For this, I was using the phaser wide angle from the Disco Rep along with the Dark Matter Torp for that 2-piece. And then I had 3 sensor linked dual beam banks on, and those are just crit damage times 4. Just couldn't bring yourself to run beam overload, could you? I don't like beam overload. Running single target builds just feels bad to me. No problem, North. If you want to convert this to beam overload, you can just swap the file for beam overload. You could even drop the torp doing that. Look, I know we're doing a lot of Borg stuff, so let's diversify and do a non-Borg TFO. Good ship for fire at will. Literally any of the do platforms you see recommended for CSV, they also work perfectly fine for fire at will. Fire at will, beam overload. If it works for CSV, it's going to work for the others. Mike, I have been running it on a plasma setup, and it's been doing fine. I mean, it's technically boosted by phaser stuff, but it'll work with anything. Pioneers hit the second Romulus. Oh no. So yeah, I mean the Atlantis is good. The Mirror Angle, the Alkena, like all of the ships you see people go crazy about for CSV, they work perfectly fine for Fire Will as well. Uh, who's up? I don't I don't know. To be honest with you, I the issue is like when you're talking about like DPS comparisons, everyone's just running AoE builds in those environments. It's hard. I don't know where Surgical Strike stacks up against. I don't know how much of a hit you're exactly taking with Surgical Strikes right now. I guess is the best way to say it. That's something I really should do some testing to say. Um, are Romulan Sea Store ships worth real money? The legendary ones are really good. The legendary Scimitar, the Deridex. The Deridex originally was not that great, but it's gotten better over time. Yeah, like any of the single target firing modes are pretty much non-meta. They're you're using them more for fun. There's going to be a Reddit thread about that comment. The issue is once you've been playing the game for a long time, you're not necessarily playing the TFOs, you know, just to get the rewards from them. It does end up for being quite a few. You're doing them to just, you know, see what the numbers are that you get. That's why the Borg stuff gets played all the time. Is because you're playing with people, or a lot of people have been playing the game for a very long time. They've done the other TFOs, they're tired of them, and now they just do the Borg ones to just see, you know, the performance of their ship, and just, you know, just play around in that regard. That ends up being the reward, is the numbers. The Borg Jug, don't see too many of those around nowadays. It's not a bad ship. It just is really cheap because people keep spamming open the Borg lockbox to get those DOF packs. Dingo, how's it going? A non-Borg TFO? I know, this is on my short list of non-Borg TFOs that I can tolerate. I should have called that Kobayashi Maru much sooner.
Go to Shipyard Alpha. Destroy the Mokai vessels before they can power up. The smell of deuterium in the morning is most sweet. The Mokai are attempting to flee from Shipyard Epsilon.
The abilities want to go up? There we go. Little bit laggy. Wow. You can see the mech graph at the bottom right, just the spikes up. Hope I missed one. There it is. Okay. Is it really non-Borg if there's a Borg ship right there? That's true. I would rather... Oh. That hurt. 191k? Or 190k right there off that ISO charge. I would rather Alt F4 and play a different game than play Atmospheric Assault. Nice. I'm glad to help. What ship doesn't have a scatter volume minigun attached? Yeah, I mean, the pure DPS, like, it does also enable a bit of survivability, too. Like, there's ways to translate this stuff into a fair bit of survivability. Yeah, I messed up and died. broadside console, you position it right and it's hitting foes. Just the damage from that is crazy. I'm gonna die here. Oh, got DPR. I'm just in time.
Success! Let our enemies tremble. Only attackers like you would use a lachi to fight their battle, Jahula. You're so god! That calls for
To flank this enemy.
maximum force! I need to close this rift before we can remove Jahula. What? The rift failed to close. Could be keeping it open. Something big is emerging from the last rift. That gigantic Alachi Walker is keeping the rift open. Destroy it!
Oh, my weapon just got shut off again. Terrible. Okay, there we go.
Well done.
It was a little bit laggy at points, but there we go. We got it done.
Attention! All loyal vessels. Victory is ours.
All them marks there. 240. You have a fall bubble beam build just for this? Spencer, am I still playing Warships? No, I actually just recently uninstalled Warships. I got tired of the CV situation, all the ships that aren't even carriers that now have planes was just getting to me. I found that I was just having like multiple, like looking back the past couple of weeks, I found that I wasn't really having much fun logging in, doing my daily matches for Warships. And I just was sitting there thinking, you know, if I'm not actually having fun doing a match here each day right now. Like, what's the point? Like, I just was like, I've got other things to spend time on right now, and like, I just, if I'm not having fun with it, what's the point? It's a game, and I feel like I was just forcing myself to log into it just for dailies, just to get like the daily match done to get the crates. This is like, I just, there's not really a point. I felt like it was just 15 to 20 minutes each day that I was just wasting on something I wasn't having fun with. Okay, there was a question earlier about the Arc Rail build. I need have you gotten much further into Cyberpunk? It's so good, yes. Yes, I have. I got 3 of the 4 Phantom Liberty endings done. I have not done, I'm like at that Nocturne point, and I've been there for like a couple weeks, but I'm trying to get all the side quests done before I do it. I want to get all the side quests done, all of the gigs, you know, just try to get as much done as I possibly can on this playthrough before I do that. So I've just been the past couple of days I'll log in, play it for like an hour, just work on some of the various gigs and all that. Don't fear the Reaper. No, so I'm at a point where like it keeps trying to send me to Nocturne to talk to um it, the one person from Arasaka. I can't remember her name. Hanako, yeah. Honestly, Cyberpunk, it's like I've seen some of the footage of how it was when it first launched, but they turned that game around. It's definitely one of the best games I've ever played. Yeah, it is just such a good game. So yeah, here's the arc rail I set up. I saw I also had a message earlier um asking how I'd set mine up, and just following like the standard meta play style. Oh, I have the event console on. Let's take that back off. So this is how my arc rail's been set up. This is what's going to be in the meta build guide for it, basically. Pretty much, just your standard plasma CSV with a bunch of the really high damage consoles. Nice. Yeah, I've owned Cyberpunk. Like I bought it, I think it was 2023. I picked it up, and Phantom Liberty. I intended to play it at some point last year, and I never got around to it. Like I all I did was the very intro part for Nomad. I have not seen Edge Runners. I've heard of it though. Um, but yeah, I've just been playing through it in the past 2 months basically, and it's such an incredible game. I have so many games on my backlog though, it is crazy. I what I'm trying to do nowadays is I am trying to break away from a lot of the live service titles. I know I say that as I'm streaming a live service title, but I'm trying to slim down on the other live service games I play and focus more on the single player stuff I have. I really want to start to get through some of the backlog here, because like there's just so many games that I have to get through. I want to play Black Mesa. I want to go through and finish that. I also have not actually played through The Witcher 3 yet. I've had people tell me to play through it for a long time, and I just never did. Yeah. I've never actually played through Half-Life and Half-Life 2. So that's after Cyberpunk, that is probably next on my list, and then I want to get through Alan Wake 1 and 2. Okay, and Control. I want to finish Control. Okay, I'm gonna do a solo ISC. I need something to break up the non-Borg TFO I just did. Gotta get back on track,
The situation is grim.
Yeah, and I like the Alan Wake and Control universe is connected. That's really neat. Yeah, Mass Effect, I own the entire trilogy. I haven't played it either. I haven't. There's so many of these games where I need to just sit through and like sit down and actually play through them. The live service games have eaten up so much of my time in the past the past decade. It's been crazy.
Scanning the nanite transformer. Got it. Infiltrate that quick.
I didn't mean to do that. This run died at the end here. I messed up. Still, there we go. I feel better now. Don't forget endeavors. I don't have to do endeavors anymore. I don't have to do them, thankfully. Mass Effect has a lot of Star Trek influence in it.
Confirm that the transwarp conduit has been destroyed.
I have not watched Severance yet. I just binge watched all of Invincible the other day. Well, over a couple days, but that was an interesting show. I don't normally watch animated shows, but I saw a clip on YouTube and was like, oh, I'll check this out. And you know, it's 3 seasons, 8 episodes each, and they're like, what, 40, 50 minutes? So that was a fairly easy binge watch. Live service, we don't say MMOs anymore. Well, because a lot of these games don't call themselves MMOs. How come Inertial Supremacy doesn't get more love with its debuff effect? Because there's a lot of people that don't have it, because it is off last year's anniversary ship, so there's a lot of people, you know, that missed it. But that is a good point. The reason I still run SAD over it is because SAD is still giving my pets fire at will. Once you're at the 750 cap, you stop earning. They made it so you no longer earn the perk points once you hit 750. At 1500, no, that'd be terrible. I think expanding the Endeavor system would be fine, only if, I mean, there's ways I think they need to expand it, like giving a pet buff in there. But there needs to be a faster way to complete it. Like, it should not take, what, 2.5, 3 years to get through it? Which 2 ships would I get? The Ark Royal and the Corolla right now are the big 2. The Shangri-La console is performing fine, but if you have the Achilles Torp console, it's going to be comparable. The Lower Decks, that was a good animated show too, yeah. But if I was prioritizing, you know, 2 ships, it'd be Corolla and Ark Royal. Yeah, but the thing is, this game doesn't have enough content to keep people engaged for, you know, 2.5 to 3 years. I think a lot of new people probably come into this game and probably don't last a year. And, you know, if you're interested in that, like, that min-max scene, whether it be for PvP or for DPS chasing, you know, seeing that you have a 3-year grind ahead of you, it's going to cost you a couple $100 to get, you know, a build put together for what you're probably wanting to do at that level. Like, you look at the game and you see it's 15 years old. You see it's got quite a few issues still. That's a bit of a hard sell. Yeah, that they absolutely have to. They have to increase the or shorten the duration of getting the endeavors done. I've been playing 2.5 years. I'm at 491 endeavors. Yeah, that is rough. That is brutal. Yeah, this Ark Royal build, I haven't tested it yet with the non-meta stuff on it, or like not non-meta, like without the lockbox traits and consoles on it. But this build, you know, it works tack or non-tack. The run you just saw me do, 2.1 mil solo, that's on a Fed Psi. I don't even have a full set of Watchers on here yet. Or SROs. I still have a Vanguard on. Terrible. What is the best pet for a sad full carrier setup? Isn't it still going to be like Todouge? Or the full pet carrier builds is something I haven't dived too far into. Just because for the way I play, that would be a bit restrictive. Thornburg, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. I know the Todouge were doing really well. I think you'd be fine running Todouge. I don't recall if there is a better sad pet right now for just general use. I know the Valors or whatever were doing quite good. Since my last fleet died, I've only logged on once every 2 weeks as playing Stow alone as a boar. Between the Todouge and Valors, okay. The Intel support cruiser, which one? The legendary ambassador. The ship I'm in right now, Phantom, is the Ark Royal. Yeah, the ambassador one. Do I have that here? Let me see. I've got that on a character. I think I might have it on casual. Yeah, the hangar bays are really nice on it. Yeah, I mean, if you want your pets to do damage, then it's going to be, the rare Todouge, the Valors, however you pronounce it. If you want to boost the rest of your ship or your teammates, then your Type 7s. What do I think that Garrett will excel at? The build video I did for it goes over the different playstyles it's going to do fine with. It's a very versatile platform. For the ambassador, you're going to pretty much run that. I'm assuming you probably want to run beams on it. The most effective meta route would be to slap a bunch of single cannons on it and run cannon scatter volley. But generally, when I tell people that, they don't like that answer. I might have it dry docked here. Well, let me just see if I can claim it. Yeah, I've already got it on me. Hold on, I gotta find where it is. Oh, it's named Ambassador. So looking at the bridge officer setup here, single cannons up front with turrets aft with CSV is going to outperform fire at will with beams. Beams are for immersion or tanking. That's the nice way to put it. So looking at this, I mean, the big question is, how do you set up the bridge officer setup? When you're talking about a ship build, your gear is going to be the same as whatever you're running on your other ships, pretty much. But I mean, this ship can do surgical strikes 3. I hate running single target stuff though, so I would do Ionic, do OSS 3, do I not have an EMP probe? Oh, there it is. Okay. I mean, you can, if you're talking like a meta setup, you can get quite a bit out of this. So this needs to be a temporal. Yes. CSV is unfortunately, with how the game is right now, because they nerfed beams and fire, or because they nerfed fire at will so hard back in the day. Yes. CSV is going to win. I mean, you could do timeline claps there, but you'd probably do, I mean, if you're doing, so here's the thing, are you doing beams, cannons? If you're doing beams, you're going to do, if you're doing fire at will, you're doing something like that. If you're doing CSV, you just put a CSV there. Then this would just be and this would be an engineer so that you can have immerse power to weapons on. I mean, if you're doing a fall setup, it's pretty much going to look like that. Does if it's an innate lance, then yes, it does, Dan. I think that's what people were saying to you when you were asking in the Bills Discord yesterday. I'm pretty sure it is. Because it's a built-in lance. So yeah, I mean, if you're talking like fire at will, it's going to be this. If you're doing beam overload, you just swap in a beam overload there. If you're doing cannon scatter volley with the single cannons, that's going to go right there. But yeah, I mean, basically this. Dan, I mean, you could probably play around with it, take it off, and see if you notice too much of a difference. You don't have the Credence console yet, though. Well, are you running a setup with KCB? With the upgrades to fall setups, which phaser beams would I recommend? Whichever help your immersion the most. Is there a small ship meta build out there somewhere? It's really just it's going to depend on the bridge officer layout for the most part. Are you talking about shuttles? I don't think, because if you're talking about shuttles, I don't think anyone's bothered with shuttles much in the past couple of years. The devs have pretty much moved on from shuttles. Yeah, there's probably like a Stow Builds post over on Reddit where someone played around with the shuttle build a bit, but nothing is really coming to mind right now. Can I solo ISC on a shuttle? No, it doesn't have the hull capacity for that, Singo. Okay, so yeah, you're following the meta setup. Yeah. I mean, I would just say try it without EWC and EP2W and just see what happens, but you might just have to hold off on that move until you have Credence. But just give it a try. Really, that's all you can do right now is just try it without it and see if it's a big hit. I would go Ruin. Ruin is great because it's not just Ruin is not just the damage buff, it's also cooldown reduction. Red, I cannot really answer that for you. I never picked up the morphogenic stuff on this character, and the last time I played with that set was like whenever it came out. Yeah, there's your answer. And polar for the gear, it's whatever you like to slot. Or if you're doing like a meta setup, then it's basically just going to be the same sort of clicky consoles you see on any of the like the meta builds if you're doing the uncon stuff. Okay. So I think how long we've been going now? About 2.5 hours. I started with a Shangri-La run, and I think we should probably wrap things up with another Shangri-La run. We're going to keep going for a little bit longer, though, because I'm going to raid over to the wiki folks when they go live. And they are not live quite yet. I think they're still like 20 minutes out, so... A 3-hour stream, I know. Yeah, the servers suck right now. Dan, thank you for the bits. Very much appreciated. Okay, Shangri-La. And we're gonna go different. We're gonna go Infected, the Conduit Advanced. This is a no lockbox trait or console build. Starship trait. And no uncon. Cheops, that stream would there would be some sort of funding goal. It sounds like I might have to move in a couple months, so that might be a way to help raise funds for helping with the move when that happens.
The situation.
Nothing. Oh no.
Scanning the nanite transfer. God. You still think that could be the nanite probes can repair the transfer. Stop them.
Low to the other side. Oh no. I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah. There's your pulse phaser immersion build.
Sensors confirm that the
He has to do the 24-hour stream in a pool full of beans. Oh no, that is a lot of beans, yeah. Let's see the numbers here. Okay, so we got, as soon as it loads. That dog is why I'm going to have to move. So the broadside beam support, 48k there. Like, that trait is buffed by the phaser buffs on a build, but... Yeah, that dog is about to get us evicted. That's been fun. I haven't done anything with the kith today. Yeah, the broadside accessories from the Corolla are still doing well. The console, especially on a high uncon setup, is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Advanced is a dream that I aspire to, Cheops. Cheops loves going through advanced TFOs. It's Cheops' favorite thing. My favorite thing is that your abilities don't reset their cooldown upon entering or leaving a TFO. Now we can go back to Elite. It was just taking that build through an advanced. Let's get this loadout going here. And yeah, Cure found Elite, public queue. Let's do it. The console off this ship sucks though, so I'm going to put my Agony back on. Being Cali classed? Oh no. I know you have not been running a Torp these days, but what makes a good Torp? I have the Event Maelstrom and Dark Matter, but I don't understand their types and advantages. It's about how they perform under different firing modes. So you have some Torps that are able to do quite a bit of damage to a single target or to a group of targets under high yield. And then you have Torps like the Maelstrom that just slam a bunch of things under spread. So it's just seeing how they stack up against each other. Most of the torpedoes in the game are just garbage. There's, I think Stowe Better even said recently that there's only like 10 or 12 in the game that are actually worth anything. Yeah, just most torpedoes in the game are just absolutely horrendous when it comes to their actual performance. Yeah. Have I tried a CSV build on a Nebula class? No, I have not. Yeah. A dedicated torp slot would be cool. That's what really hurts about Fire at Will, is that the best firing mode extender you have is, you know, is ETM, and you have to put a torp on, but you need a low cooldown torp, so you can't put a good one like a Maelstrom on. You have to put on like a wide angle or something, or dark matter, and it's just like, really? These aren't that good. Pyro, how's it going? Plasma torps need a buff. Omega high yield is fun though, yeah. The Romulan Hyperplasma Torp, spamming that with a bunch of Torp cooldown stuff was so much fun back in the day. It's not very effective, but damn was that fun. And this thing packs a nice little punch. Do I have the trait from it on? I do not. Take a look here. The misfires need to end. That's not going to happen. Complex at 82.5, full broadside. Didn't have as much chance to do much there. Still overall pretty good. I don't know why I have Calm on. Let's put the trait from this ship back on. Corrosive Impact. Watts, how's it going? Wasn't there... I feel like there was another torp, like a Breen... Was it a Breen one or something that worked like that? Like, I don't think that's the only mine torpedo out there. I think there's at least one other. Yeah, well, the Watts mentioned the Vodwar one in the Twitch chat. Transphasic, yeah. Yeah, so I wasn't going crazy. Let's do... We haven't done a Kittimer yet. Kittimer Vortex Elite public queue. Joining now. My... You don't like the vertical to dare decks? Terrible. I feel like there's a rep one. Sam, how's it going? I believe so, yeah. So the plan is, as far as I'm aware, that I'm going to be on Kale's stream on Monday. So I think it's this Monday. I don't think it's been announced yet, but I think that was the plan. I'm going to help him with his Vengeance build. So am I going to... Yeah. Might have been Lucari. I don't remember. Yeah, all the people are going to be mad about me saying Uncon, yeah. So he's going to have a cannon scatter volley build? Yes. Why did I just burn my agony there? I don't know. The SV misfire. Another CSV misfire. I don't even know why I have the Credence console on when I'm not hitting it.
We're picking up some strange readings. Tempting.
All you have to do is fly it sideways. Yeah. Not quite.
The scimitars.
Do I think the Singularity Core hampers the ship a bit? No, not really. I don't think Singularity Cores are really that much of an issue. I think they, like, if you are able to utilize the Singularity abilities, they end up performing quite well. I do dislike that every time you hop into a Romulan ship, the order of these abilities is a bit different. Like, I think the last ship I was in had Warp Shadow's second slot, and now it's third. I wish they would stay consistent. Oh, Aaron, you're fine. Do I like Uncon, or would I rather they get rid of it? I mean, there's always been a best way to approach builds, so from that perspective, it doesn't really change anything. You know, before Uncon, it was, you know, how many engineering slots does your ship have for isomags? Like, there's always something that is, you know, locking us into a select set of ships, right? So, I'm not worried about Uncon from that perspective. I think it adds to the game because now you have the option to go through and, you know, utilize these clicky consoles a ton in combat. You know, for science, that's huge. If you're wanting to do a science build with all these APG, you know, clicky consoles, you can get most of your damage from those nowadays, you know, rather than the science abilities. Uncon is a lot more engaged. It just, I think it's interesting because it's allowed us to actually consider a lot of the consoles that we previously, you know, would have just ignored. You know, we're pulling consoles off of ships that are a decade old, like the Guardian console, and we're slapping them back onto ships. You know, we wouldn't have done that without Uncon. It's bringing a lot of value back to old things in the game. I understand why people don't like it. There's part of that is just because it is expensive. It's a very engaged play style. Part of that is just because it's got meta associated with it. People are going to hate it no matter what. It's just one way of doing things. And when it comes to like theory crafting, we still theory craft not uncon builds. Like our record DPS runs, the split runs and all those are happening so fast that uncon isn't fast enough. So we still are theory crafting non uncon. It's just that is for really really small part of the player base. For most people, going down the uncon route is the most effective way they can play the game. Still think either the Vastum or Fayette are some of the best looking ROM ships they put out. There's been some really good looking ROM ships over the years. I really like the oh wow, now I'm forgetting the name of it. It was just in the trailer that they did. I used to fly it all the time, and now I'm completely blanking on the name. Yeah, the Delon. The Delon is a ship I enjoyed flying back in the day. The Delkina, of course. The Delkina looks amazing. But I do like the Hathos. It was just, you get it and then the stats are just like, eh. But some of these Romulan ship designs have been great. The Scimitar, of course, what they did with the Legendary. I really like that effect on it. Yeah, the Delon, the Mogai. Like, there's so many of these Romulan ships I really do like the visuals of. A Talist Warbird is escaping. Terrible. Yeah, the Mogai, though, that's one I never got a model of, but one that I did want to get the Eagle Moss model of. But then the only downside is it's a bit smaller. I have a build guide coming out that's going to at least address, that might address some of that to driver. It is Gibbs actually sent me a bunch of uncons to give away back in like early February, and I was going to get this video done back in February, but it just didn't happen. There's a build guide I'm working on called the Unconventional Build Guide, and it's going over uncon and all that. What makes it so good, stuff like that. How to use it. Fayette is still good looking, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's some good looking ROM ships. The Suliban, Silic, this gets a lot of use at the high end too because of the console on it and 2 hangar bays, but for general use, not a ship people need to worry about. I actually like the Tal Shiar adapted ships, it's just, I wish the stats were better. Legendary Dederidex right there. The Rallis from last year, that was like the was it the White Star from Babylon 5? Wasn't people were comparing this to? I appreciate it, Gibbs. Okay. 11 minutes on infected. Terrible. I didn't look at the parse from this last one to see what happened in that Kittimer. Your audio is only coming out of one speaker? I can see that. That's on your end. It's got to be because look, it's showing it going both tracks here for me. Corrosive Impact actually did less than Complex there, but that was probably just for me not doing enough cloak spam. You're having okay. So I should mention too for the upcoming reviews, and I don't think Warp Core is here, but for the upcoming reviews for the 15th bundle ships, they're not going to be PowerPoints. I need to shift back away from PowerPoints on a bunch of videos, and I need to just reserve the PowerPoint format for like the really, really big videos. So they're going to be, mostly just in game with me having some like pictures up of the accessories and stuff like that. I don't have the time right now to do a bunch of PowerPoint videos. Give the people what they want, a royal flush. I mean, well, what they want to see is infected, but we can do Hive. We can do Hive Onslaught Elite in the meantime. Public queue, Hive Onslaught Elite. It's another board queue. Nice. Anyone for server lag? Yeah. Is anti-proton on par with the other damage types? Yeah, ball anti-proton especially is really good because it has a reflection ability or reflection capability built into it. Very nice. Give the people what they want. Yeah, I mean the 14th bundle, that bundle exclusive ship sucked, but there's been people where I've talked to them and it's been like, yeah, just buy the bundle. Like there's the other ships in that bundle, like if you're someone into the min-max theory crafting side of things, like going for the entire thing makes sense. Are they ever going to finish building New Romulus? No. Rip your engine power, Paul. Logitech Z906 gets worse. Oof. I've moved away from Logitech a little bit. I had a couple of the G Pro wireless mice that just died on me. I went over to Razer. That was fine. Then that wireless mouse died. Now I'm on a Pulsar X Lite, and it was a bit cheaper. But this thing, it's been solid. Evasive misfire? This game.
You cannot defeat
I got Cheops in here? Oh no. Cheops, why isn't this over, bud? I thought this was supposed to be over already.
your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I become another.
Do I think we'll ever get a Juggernaut Audi like World Razor? It'd be interesting, and thank you for the 2, Adam. I mean, eventually I think we'll get another Audi variant. Where's Endeavor with that Jamestown variant request or whatever? Well, Cheops, you still did well. Cheops, this is Cheops map right here. Let's see here. Cheops 1.4, of course. At the lithium number right there. Cheops 204k off the lithium. That's the Credence console. Very nice. I got Agony off on that top cube, thankfully. My lithium did not do anywhere near as well. Corrosive Impact and Complex did both quite poorly in that run. We need another Miranda variant. Oof. I have not paid attention to any of that stuff. To be honest, there's like a ton of rage bait style videos out there for all of the new Star Trek shows, and they're pretty much all just BS there just to capitalize on people not being fans of the new show. So they're just feeding you quite often a bunch of BS just because they know it's easy clicks. I don't know, how legitimate that is. It's not something I personally paid attention to, but I just know, like, looking up some Star Trek topics um on YouTube before, like, there's so much of this stuff is just rage bait. Hate farming is prolific nowadays, yeah. I've been negative a couple times. I try not to be, like, super negative unless it's like legitimately warranted. Um, I thought about being negative about the 15th bundle at first, but then I just was sitting here looking at the reaction day one, and I was just like, no, it's like, just because I'm not the biggest fan of it doesn't mean it's like actually bad. No problem, Chiaps. Pilot Merrick Worker 4-4 Miranda. Ugh. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, like, sometimes I have to look at what, like, the public reception is on stuff just to make sure I'm not going too crazy with some of my statements. Like, I don't, like, meta wise, I even rephrased my ending and all that. Like, I was clear, meta wise, this is not a strong bundle, but if you're into the TMP era, it's a fine bundle for, just the theme of it. The ships, they're not great, but they're not that bad. What changes does the game need? In my opinion, better servers. If you could overhaul a specialization, what would it be, and why isn't it Constable? Constable is just so slow. Like, that specialization, I've pretty much forgotten it exists because it's just so slow to build up. If it built up faster, it'd be fine, but it's just too slow. Um, Command, it'd be cool if that did a little bit more. I know in PvP that's still got some use cases with boost morale for the debuff cleanse. I don't know if that was a bit more support, survivability focused, that'd be nice. Miracle Worker, I feel like the critical heals just sort of fell off because most of our healing just comes from consoles and non-bridge officer ability sources. Yeah, Constable was used for elite runs a couple years ago, but it fell off because stuff was too fast. Oh no, Mac. Um, yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, the 11th bundle is like the 15th, and that it's more of an RP focused bundle. It's not bad if you're into the ships, and to be fair, like that Klingon ship there, the Vorcha, that was legitimately a really good platform for a while. It's like the 15th, though, overall, where if you're into the ships, you can make them work, but if you're not into the ships, then there's not really much value there. It's going to be a lose for them. Space property bundles / content, then people will get mad because it's not meta. Every bundle releases pushing the meta, and people get mad. Yeah. I do wish the bundle exclusives on the 15th had been better. Like, the Theseus is fine. The Theseus is fine. But I think it would have been such a great opportunity for them to have had, like, a TMP Maelstrom. Like a red photon Maelstrom in there. What happened with the beard? I cut it off. I'm sorry. I tried to clean it up, took it up under the jawline like was recommended to me, and that made it just look absolutely terrible. Dan, thank you for the 50 bits. Much appreciated. Make sovereigns great again. I would love the opportunity to just go in and like make a good sovereign. Howdy, folks. Fred here, and today we'll be watching Spencer do his dailies / talk shop / etc. Yep. Yeah. Hoping for a TMP ship interior. They don't do interiors anymore, sadly. Have I played Star Trek Resurgence? No. Gibbs, terrible. Howdy, folks. Spencer here, and today I've got a new thing for you all to go run and buy off the exchange. It's called the Zindi Adalith. Yeah, go pick it up. Is there a set schedule for the bundles, or are all they just random? Pretty much just random at this point. They're not really following a schedule like they had in prior years. Or at least that lines up. Beam Overload buff incoming? No, I just wanted to liquidate and get some EC. What is wrong with my ship? I know. Veritas, I'm sorry. Yeah. I may or may not have a few in the Adalith up on the exchange. just a few. I think they all got undercut. Oh. Yeah. There should be better loot. So, what is Breen Shield tunneling up to now? $109 million. You know, guys, the Breen that Partners in Crime lockbox is no longer in circulation, so that trait's going to get pretty expensive over the next year. Wow, terrible Mac. Yeah, I did manipulate the market terribly there. Post them all up at the same time. Hey, that Costco orange chicken is really good, okay? Here. Yeah, this stuff from Costco, it's really good, okay? The read more button isn't working, apparently. Yeah, this stuff is pretty good. You ad for Costco? Oh, no. Bro had the page already pulled up. I typed orange chicken into my browser, and it popped up because I'd been on that page previously. Sponsorship incoming. Howdy, folks. Oh, I'm sorry I said it again. I'm sorry, Veritas. I'm sorry. And today I'm going to be judging my viewers' internet search history. How would I feel if they would add a Moopsy combat pet? I don't know how I would feel. That's a very interesting question. I think we already know that there's a Moopsy being worked on, right? So I think it's just a matter of time until we have a Moopsy that hopefully works in combat. Reach out for a sponsorship? Oh no. Is that the Excelsior console? If so, then yeah, it can still work. It's just the long activation time. These abilities that have a 2-second activation time just feel bad when you have really high firing cycle haste, because That's 2 seconds where you get to do nothing. By the way, I know I mentioned this yesterday. Let me see if they're still in stock. I'm going to drop this link in chat again. But for any of you wanting that XL Enterprise F, there is still stock of those over at FanHome. So if you are interested, grab it while it's still in stock. Yeah, I've turned down a couple of I've turned down a couple of offers for like some sponsorships that popped up through like stream elements or whatever, where they want me to do like Raid Shadow Legends, Star Trek Fleet Command. I think the point where I'm at right now is I just like, sure, it's easy money as is the way they'd put it, but it just feels bad when I I don't want to promote things that I don't want to do myself right now. Like, I find it hard to promote those like really pay to win games, and I know I say that as we're playing Stowe, which has really bad gambling mechanics in it, but I also just had a I had a controller review where I was supposed to have this review out in February, but I've been back and forth with the company for it. It's not GameSir, it's a different company, where the marketing material did not line up with the actual product. I had a suspicion about the battery and had to take it apart to verify. My suspicion was confirmed. Yeah. I when I mentioned the GoFundMe for my mom, which by the way, thank you to everyone who helped chip in and helped that get that to that funding goal. But when I mentioned that, I had a couple people going crazy at me for they're saying you need to stop spending money in the game, and the thing with So is I don't know how much people think I'm actually putting in. Like, I think there's some people that think I'm putting like hundreds or thousands into this game a month, and that's simply not the case. I've probably put in a bit more than I should have in the past 6 months, but I looked it up. In December, I picked up the big Zen pack with that coupon they had through ARC, so that was $180 for 28k Zen. And then in the middle of February, when we had that Zen sale, before I knew any of the stuff was going on with my mom, I picked up, through Epic, 23k during the Zen sale for $150 with the after the credit I had over there. Like, I understand, and I should not spend as much money on the game, but I'm not dropping hundreds or thousands into this game every month. All the lockbox ships I get, I am getting, by playing the market. Yeah, exactly. Like, the reason I've got 10 Atlas up right now and a bunch of other stuff is because I want to be able to buy, the next couple of promo lockbox ships. Just, I want to continue getting the stuff with in-game resources. Do I think custom power matrix is worth getting? Do you have 850 Lobby from like an event campaign? Aaron? Thank you for stopping by. There's also the fact too, like, I don't like to put much money into the game, but if I do, I'm going to get it back. Like, the money I do put in, I'm putting in for things that I can buy in the Zen store to make content, and that is going to get that money back. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Nick. The reason the reason I put in February, again, before I knew any of the stuff was going on with my mom, like to that extent, was I wanted to get Mud's Disco Inferno during the next sale. Yeah. Terrible. Yeah. Like that's why like the things I have promoted so far, like some show discords, um, real merch. I mean, I'm promoting something where you're getting a physical product in the end, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it is probably time to wrap things up. Is there any final questions or anything you guys have? The Stow Wiki is doing an event right now, Kidam Alliance theme. So if you want to bring any of your Kidam Alliance ships over there, they're doing some TFOs and stuff. How's the Shangri-La console turning out? Pretty good so far. Yeah. The big ships typically have lower inertia, so they slide a bit more, yeah. I don't know. What are my thoughts on Crenum Chronophage? I mean, I guess they're not ever actually going to do anything to it. So I guess it's fine. But let's get the raid out over here. Okay, the raid is started on the Twitch. Go say hi to the wiki folks while they're doing some TFOs, and if you want to join them with some Kittimer ships, then head on over and do that. Where do I live? I'm in Iowa. I'm in a cornfield. What is the dilithium detonator charge in Oscar? That is the experimental weapon that was accidentally added with the Pioneer 2, and it has since been pulled. Okay. There is the raid on the Twitch. So let me get that ended. Alex, sorry on the bad timing. Can you hear the corn grow? Not right here. Do I think the Cathsar is going to get back over a bill? Probably. I mean, it's iffy because there's going to be people opening that box to get the trait. Okay, if you guys on the Twitch side or on the YouTube side want to hop over and check out the wiki stream over on Twitch, there it is. But thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you guys around as soon as I can find the stop button. Yeah, it's nice and quiet and rural. Okay, see you guys.